If you ask your grandparents for relationship advice, some of it might feel, well, a little out of date. And that's because the rulebook for what makes a relationship happy has been totally rewritten. What we're all looking for in a partner today is just worlds away from what it used to be. So let's get into what it really takes to build a connection that lasts in our modern world.
So what's actually driving this huge shift? It's more than just dating apps and technology, Our entire philosophy of what a partnership even is has been turned on its head. So let's dive into this by first looking at how we choose our partners then versus now.
Okay, let's do a little time traveling. First up, we're going to explore the massive change in how we pick our partners. Seriously, we've gone from what was basically a checklist of external stuff to a much, much deeper search for real compatibility.
I mean, just look at this comparison. It's like two totally different universes, isn't it? Back then, it was all about looks and making sure the family's approved. But now we're doing a deep dive into what actually makes a person tick. It's all about finding someone who shares your goals, who gets you. We're building these things from the inside out.
Yeah, that old approach, it often created relationships that looked great on paper, but felt, completely empty inside. Today, we're the architects of our own happiness. We are deliberately choosing partners to build a life that isn't just stable, but one that's genuinely fulfilling. The stakes feel higher, for sure, but the potential for real joy is so much greater.
So, with all that said, what's the very first pillar of a modern relationship? Well, it's the one thing that if it's not there, the whole thing just comes crashing down. We are talking about trust.
Trust is the bedrock. It's the neve, the absolute foundation of any strong connection. It's this shared space built on loyalty and honesty where doubt just can't take root. And it has to be a two-way street. Both people have to be completely all in for it to even work.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? Doubt is the silent killer. It really is like a termite, just slowly, quietly chewing away at the very foundation of your connection. You might not even see the damage at first, but before you know it, the entire structure can collapse.
All right, next up, love. But we're not just talking about the fluffy, poetic idea of love. We're talking about what it actually looks like day to day. Because in a modern relationship, love isn't action, it's a verb.
And this is really where we separate the talkers from the doers. I mean, anybody can say I love you, but real love, that's about paying attention. It's knowing their favorite snack. It's understanding why they had a rough day at work. And it's consistently making them feel like they matter most to you.
So how do you actually practice this active love? Well, it's kind of like a 4-step process. You start by genuinely listening to understand their situation. Then you learn all the little things that make them, well, them. You consistently show them they're a priority, and then you actively help them get what they want and need. It's this beautiful cycle of giving and receiving.
Now, a great relationship doesn't just exist in a vacuum, right? It has to deal with the messy, unpredictable real world. And that's where our next set of skills comes into play. These are the tools that help you face all of life's challenges together as a team.
And really, it all boils down to two super critical traits, having a healthy sense of humor and having a low ego. Now, they might sound simple, but believe me, they are incredibly powerful for keeping a relationship resilient and strong.
And let's be super clear here. Having a sense of humor does not mean you have to be a stand-up comedian. It's really about emotional intelligence. It's about knowing when to crack a little joke to break the tension and when to just shut up and listen. It's the superpower of saying the right thing at exactly the right time.
Here is a perfect example. Imagine this. Someone comes home after a huge financial loss, just completely stressed out of their mind. Now, a partner who also panics just makes everything 1,000 times worse. But a partner who calmly looks at them and says, "You look exhausted. Have some tea and go to sleep." That provides an anchor in the storm. That simple, calming act is more powerful than any grand gesture.
Okay, now for the flip side of that, ego. A big ego is basically a wrecking ball in a relationship. It's that constant need for one person to be right, to win every single argument, to always get the last word. It's just a recipe for bitterness and division.
So, the bottom line is this. A partner with a low ego is a bridge builder, not a wall builder. They're far more interested in understanding where you're coming from than they are in winning some petty argument. They choose connection over conflict every time. I mean, who wouldn't want that?
And that brings us to our final and maybe the most important quality of them all. This is the one that really ties everything else together. It's the fundamental mindset shift that makes a partnership truly work.
Think about it like this. Your relationship is a two-person boat. If one of you is only rowing for themselves, you're just going to spin in circles forever. A partnership that's built on a foundation of me, myself, and I is basically doomed from the start. And that right there is the ultimate game changer. The single most powerful ingredient for a happy modern relationship is that shift from thinking in terms of me to thinking in terms of us. It's when your individual problems become our problems to solve together. That is when you know you've found a real partner. So there you have it. These are the 5 pillars of a truly happy partnership. You've got that unshakable trust as the foundation. You have active, caring love building the walls, a sense of humor and a low ego to help you weather any storm, and holding it all together, that we first mindset.
So, as we wrap this up, I want you to just take a second and think about it. Which of these qualities really matters the most to you? What does your ideal partnership actually look like? The beautiful thing about love today is that you get to write your own rules. Thanks so much for joining me.